I love seeing more strong but realistic female characters in movies. But man, if there are two female character stereotypes I hate, they're Mary Sue characters and damsels in distress. Especially the second one, since they are overused way too much. Obviously, we're talking about how much Mulan 2020 sucks, so I'm bashing her for being a Mary Sue. My analysis of Mulan 2020 will be split into two videos. Part 2 comes out next week. This episode, we are breaking down the matchmaker scene and a few other scenes around this. So for convenience, 1998's character will be called Mulan, and 2020's character will be called Mary Sue. Spoiler warnings for this episode include Mulan 1998 and Mulan 2020, which should be quite obvious. So let's break down 1998 first. Yes, technically the cricket ruined the stuff, but we were shown her awkwardly trying to last throughout the scene. She couldn't remember the stuff that she had to memorize. Apparently she spoke without permission and spilled half the tea kettle. None of that was caused by the cricket, so even if we take the cricket out of the situation, we're able to see that she has flaws. Now we're on to 2020. Apparently her sister messes it up for her because someone thought it was a good idea to replace the grandmother with the sister. Look, that's a bad idea, alright? The sister doesn't do anything, and the grandmother was comic relief. I love the grandmother's character. Someone also thought it would be a good idea to have the mother and sister come in the matchmaker's office with Mary Sue. I honestly have no idea why. Oh wait, because Mary Sue must be flawless for everything, she can't even spill tea. Her sister has to mess it up for her. And by the way, if it was the sister that messed it up, why the hell is the matchmaker mad at Mary Sue? If we remove the sister and Spider from this equation, Mary Sue does not do anything that indicates her flaws. She needs to spill tea and speak without permission or something at the very least, so that at least the viewers are able to see that she's a flawed character and that she doesn't fit in. Now we're breaking down Bring Honor to Us All. Look, keep the damn songs in the movie, alright? Bring Honor to Us All was necessary. We needed it as a way to illustrate the patriarchal society and just how sexist it was, hence saying that it was a patriarchal society. By the way, before anti-feminists start flooding the comments, look, men were forced to fight, which is bad, and women were forced to remain home and silent. That's not exactly benefiting anyone because that's what patriarchy does. And look, alright, I still think that's a bad thing, okay? I do not want to be forced to fight, and I do not want to be forced to just stay home and be quiet. Anyway, so this song, it just tells us how important honor is in society and how honor, it revolves around the patriarchy. It even blatantly says that a woman's responsibility is being a wife and giving birth to sons, and a man's responsibility is for fighting in a war. That is how honor works here. We had no songs in Mary Sue's movie. Instead of Bring Honor to Us All, we got a montage of Mary Sue putting on her makeup and outfit. Yes, the dialogue did technically tell us about the patriarchal society, but it was at the expense of the father's character. Look, this montage of the outfit and makeup, yes, it was beautiful. It did look good cinematically, but it was dull. This is a Disney movie. It cannot be dull. When I watched this movie with my mom for the first time, we just watched it to see how bad it would be, and honestly, I was either extremely bored, tired, or yelling at the TV because it was so bad. Next, the father. He's a great character in 1998's film. He comforts Mulan after the matchmaker scene and says that it will take time. We don't get that scene in the remake. It just skips to dinner. Even in the dinner table scene in 1998, it starts off calm, and then the father, he reacts a little bit harshly due to how conflicted he is. You can clearly see on his face when Mulan storms out that he's conflicted with everything. In 2020's film, the second Mary Sue opens her mouth at the dinner table, he straight up slams the table. We can't even see him being conflicted. There's just no room for subtlety. The scene where the father comforts Mulan directly before the messengers come to town announcing the war situation, that was not there in 2020's version. For the record, if you guys are a little bit confused on my description, it's when the father, at least in 1998, that scene, it's where the father is comforting Mulan and saying how he's comparing her to how the flowers are blossoming and how the ones that blossom late turn out to be the most beautiful ones. So anyway, basically, the absence of that scene in 2020's version and the not-so-subtle reaction to Mary Sue questioning honor, that just botched up the father's character. To be honest, the acting was bad as well. I hated watching the movie because of it. There were several emotional moments where they didn't even look emotional, like when Mary Sue reunites with the father. And not just the emotional moments, but the other moments as well. I just couldn't see any emotion. I don't want to be too aggressive to the point where I'll blame it on the actors entirely, because I do think that the director didn't properly direct the actors as well, and the script, it did have some unrealistic dialogue at times. And I'm also really disappointed with all the political controversy surrounding this movie. Because I'm not brave enough for politics, Google it or something. I'm freaking disappointed in this, which is why I'm glad that the movie did not make for much. Fun fact, the budget for the movie was $200 million, and I think they only recovered $70 million. This is part 1 of a 2-part series hating on Mulan 2020. Thanks for watching. Part 2 comes out next Friday.